Okay, so we all know that Greenville is a pretty good game, but there are a few things about it that it does honestly lack on in comparison to other games out there. And personally, I think Greenville would really benefit from having these things in their game, or at least improving on these things. And it would overall just make it a lot more of an enjoyable experience in general. Now, before we do get into today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe as we are on the road to 15.7k subscribers. Additionally, we have now started reading out the application results for my filming application in my Discord server, so if you guys want to apply for that, make sure to, as that way you guys will have a chance at participating in some of my future videos, and I'm honestly really excited to get started with it. But anyways, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so starting off here, this is one that is honestly said by the community a lot, and honestly isn't really anything crazy, but this is honestly just Greenville getting a better update schedule again. Now, I did recently make a video about this, and due to Greenville having to switch all fictional cars and whatnot as of recent, it is likely that they won't have a good update schedule for at least a while longer. But at least once they eventually get used to making fictional cars, and it becomes a more efficient process for them, then it would definitely be nice to see them go back to their one update every 2 weeks sort of schedule, because they did actually stick to that for a good few months or so, but obviously due to this entire situation, they did unfortunately stop. But hopefully it won't be too long before we see that back again, because honestly it was making the game so much better, and the player base was honestly super happy to see it as well. Now, the second one here is honestly a huge one, and this is overall just adding more stuff to the map. Now, a lot of you guys may be confused and say like, Shard, well, Greenville already adds a lot of stuff to their map, so what do you mean by this? And although yes, that is technically true, 9 times out of 10 you'll only really see them adding stuff to this side of the map, which is where the twist and subway is and stuff like that, but they almost never add anything on this side of the map that I'm currently on there, Just By and the sheriff's office and whatnot. And I honestly have no idea why, as the way how they have currently laid out the map is honestly just really bad in my opinion, because it leads everyone to be on one side of the map and no one to be on this side of the map, which you can't really blame them because there is not really much of a reason to be here. And honestly, due to that, the map just has become very disproportionate, which is unfortunate because this part of the map could have so much potential if they actually paid attention to it. As for those of you guys who don't know, this part of the map actually sort of breaches into Appleton a bit, which for those of you guys who don't know is a pretty big town in Wisconsin, so they could definitely add so much to this area, but for some reason they just never do. But then again, maybe they do have something planned for it that we don't know about as of yet, which I'm really hoping that they do. Okay, so the third one here is actually adding better ways to make money. And in my recent video where I talked about Southwest Florida features that Greenville needs, I actually did discuss how in interactive jobs, they should add some sort of ranking system, as this way it actually gives people an incentive to use interactive jobs, and will also make it a lot easier to get more money, because as you rank up, you would get paid more most likely. But on top of that, they could literally just add stuff in general that makes it a lot easier to get money, because right now, I'm not gonna lie, the payments in this game are very, very low, and you may say that they probably don't want people abusing the system, which is definitely valid, but there are so many ways that they could prevent people from abusing it, like by, for example, adding a cooldown or whatever for how long you have to wait before you can rob another store, or even by slowly decreasing the amounts you get paid after each robbery, so there's like a daily cap or something from how much you can earn from just robbing places, for example. And that's just an example that I can give for the criminal job, but even with other stuff in general, especially with interactive jobs too, they could so easily increase the amount of payments, as one of the biggest complaints in this game is that people just struggle to make money, and that honestly leads to so many people quitting this game eventually, because games like Southwest Florida make it so much easier for you to get cool cars, and it is honestly something that Greenville should definitely work on in my opinion. Like, for example, if I go ahead and rob the bank here, then we can see that even if I grab all of the money that you can possibly grab from the bank, if I'm just robbing it by myself as well, then you'll notice that I only get around $900 or so dollars, which I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a horrible amount, right? But when you consider that most vehicles out there that people want cost anywhere from like 50k to like $3 million plus, it would take you an extremely long time to grind out enough money by just doing that, for example. And even by driving up and down the map, which is easily the most efficient grinding method that we have at the moment, it still takes a long time, and I'm not sure why Greenville has set it out like this, but I mean, let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Alright, so the next one here is a highly requested one that multiple players ask for on a daily basis, and this is just better RP features. So obviously Greenville already has its fair share of good roleplay features, and the game is honestly known for being quite a good roleplaying game, but there are still stuff that it is definitely missing out on that they could definitely implement in the future. So for example, one of the roleplay features that I think should definitely be added is that, let's say like you keep crashing your car into poles and whatnot like this, then over time your car starts getting more and more damage, and then eventually it gets to the point where, you know, your grill is smoking and stuff, and you know, your car's driving super slow and whatnot because your car's all damaged, and the only way how you can get it fixed is if you take it to one of the repair shops, for example like Joe's, and then you actually have to get a mechanic working on the job or whatever to actually repair your vehicle for you, and stuff like that really. I know that games like ERLC also have this feature, so as you guys can see here, as I crash into different objects around the map, my car actually does slowly begin to smoke at the front here, and you guys will actually notice that as I damage it, it does tell me to visit the mod shop to repair my vehicle, and as I keep damaging into stuff, the smoke only gets more and more intense, and eventually your car literally burns on fire and actually starts killing you in the game. And I mean, this is honestly something that I would love to see in Greenville, as not only would it just be a cool realistic feature in general, but also it would hopefully encourage people, especially in public servers to actually drive better than they currently do. And I mean, I'm sure that Greenville would obviously add an option to disable this feature, as it's not something that everyone wants, obviously. Also, another roleplay feature that I'm taking here from ERLC as well is actually being able to put stuff in the trunk of your vehicle. So as you guys can see, I can click E to access the trunk, and I can actually put different items into my trunk. So for example, if you want to stash like guns and stuff, or stuff that you don't want the police to see, for example, then you can just put it in there. Or just basic supplies in general, to be honest. And it could actually be really cool, as we don't really have much car interactivity in the game at the moment. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Once again, we're on the road to 15.7k subscribers. Also, once again, I am now reading out my filming applications, but the applications are still open in my Discord server, so for those guys who want to apply for those to participate in my future videos, make sure to do that. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.